All right, I think we're live. I'm not totally positive, but I'm going to go ahead and proceed. Hopefully, someone can join to let me know if the volume is too wacky between my mic, which has the compressor turned way up, and all of the instruments and stuff on the XY. Cool. So, I don't know. I've been going through a lot of sort of change lately, and so this is going to get a little bit cheesy, maybe slightly vloggy. Not really vloggy, but slightly monologue-y. And I just want to sit down and make something and take my time today and not worry about whether it sounds cool, and just taking the time for it to develop into something I like. And because I've been going through a lot of changes in life, new job, all sorts of stuff like that, I thought it would be meaningful for me to just kind of like see this through and let this take shape. Oh man, this keyboard is gross. Sorry, everybody. That's the problem about these like lighter color things. Everything shows up on them. All right, so the only thing I so far have in mind, or that I'm like pretty sure I'm gonna do, is I think I'm going to layer a piano and a mandolin. That's been something I've been really enjoying lately. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull up my preset for both of those. I guess mandolin will be the main layer, and then the piano will be the next one. I'll link them together. And yeah, I'm going to take my time here. This may take a while because I'm going to play with the filters on both of these, which octaves sound best for each of the voices, tunings, things like that. So this may take a minute, like I was saying, but yeah, hopefully you're also down for a more, I guess, chill stream. Like I said before I go to work. Have I been able to take advantage of the latest update? Yes, I have. I'm actually part of the firmware beta testing team, so I've been kind of seeing these gradually be implemented behind the scenes. So big things for me are, once I'm on the arranger, I love not having to be terrified, or sorry, once I'm in song mode, I love not having to be terrified about pressing a key and then suddenly adding a pattern or something. That's huge for me. Now you have to press shift to do that sort of thing. That's big. Slice mode is cool, but it's not like my main go-to. And I haven't had much time to mess with the sidechain LFO yet. I know that that's like a new thing. But yeah, I just have not played with that too much yet. And let's see. So let's start to layer these. I hope that answered your question. Oh man, this is going to be ugly. I love it. So I'm not going to use too many voices on this one because, just because I know that I want some stuff to be kind of out of tune. Like these are not going to sound super in tune, and in fact, I may just go ahead and add some tremolo ahead of time on both. But to give those like space, I probably won't do a ton of voices here. Maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe I'll just record that step by step. I'm trying to think about other things in the workflow update, or in the firmware update. I love that you can actually see the LFO on, like, it's actually being displayed. Like if I set let's just set a value LFO here. Oh, they called it duck, my bad. we'll be able to go over here and actually see the swarm amount adjusting. And I find that super helpful. It's something I really like on the OP1, and I missed it on like the OPZ. So I'm glad that that's, you know, happening here. Cool. So let's go back and try to see if I can remember what chords there were. I think I started with maybe, I want to say it was an F sharp, and then maybe just an A. And that's just because, I don't know, I'm a big fan of video games by Lana Del Rey, I guess. And then let's make this one that B over F sharp. Does that sound too happy? Oof. That could be fine for now. And I'll just make it, let's just make it 4, 4, and we'll use step components to mess with these here. First of all, let's just have them all be held for 4. That's kind of interesting already. I'm already sort of into this, which kind of defeats the purpose of the stream, but we'll ignore that for now. No one's really posted a demo of the latest update, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Man, I should have been working on that today then, huh? Like a tutorial or overview video. I could definitely do one. Right now I'm feeling more creative, but maybe when I'm at work I'll go ahead and like outline something for that because, yeah, I'd be down to do that. There's been a lot of changes and, yeah. But I'd also want it to be organized in a way where it like makes sense and stuff. What am I doing? I just wanted to pull up drums, right? Yeah. Stuff. There we go. What sorts of stuff would you want me to cover in a video like that? Like, I mean, just everything. I guess I'll just do it like kind of feature by feature. That seems fairly easy to do, actually. I know that not everything was included in the notes, which kind of sucks, but I'll cover at least everything in the notes. Do something like that. Add some groove here. I want to feel like there's like a struggle in this song. Let me just change this. I don't know exactly how I'll accomplish that. Let's start making like a kind of arrangement out of this. The current like kind of thing that I've been doing a lot lately is coming up with a basic drum like this and then actually just dropping the drums and seeing if I can really develop the rhythm with like the bass and all the other stuff, and then bringing the drums back in. And all of my favorite stuff I've made has like followed that pattern, but it's also made some of my least favorite stuff that I've just abandoned, or maybe just didn't give enough time for it to be cool. Let's see. Also, I realize now you can kind of see my forehead. It's almost like a cuckoo effect in a way. You get to see like my bald forehead. And maybe me using a vaporizer, who I'm trying to get to like kind of give my channel attention now that it's not like against my work policy for me to consume cannabis. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. Let's not get into that on this stream. And let's go ahead and get back to this. I'm going to rename the project so that way I can start saving it and stuff. I've been rereading a book that I usually read during periods of transition. So let's go there. I don't know why I'm making this so, like such an important, thing on the stream. I think this is just the first time I've gone with this sort of, specific idea, and then given myself enough time to not really feel super rushed. And like I said, this one's going to take a while. Oh, come on. Spelling, James. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's rename it. Let's rename it Siddhartha 1. This ought to be a series. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, I'll definitely make a video about that. Cool. Okay, so let's try to see what we can make that's cool here. Let me take, like I said, take the drums out for now. And we can take the, out too. The bass. Maybe we'll make it pretty thin at first. So it's pretty piano heavy on this one. Why am I not hearing this? Am I... So let me actually turn this down a little bit then. I overdid it. Yeah, let's just keep it kind of as it was. Oh, that might be our issue right there. Okay, that was the issue. Cool, cool, cool. And maybe instead we'll just have a value that will change the filter's cutoff, and it'll just be real slow, hopefully. Actually, maybe this one should have a... Try to make sure that this is also like loud enough or present enough in it. Let's compare them again. Cool, so that seems like a pretty good combo for now. Let's just save this right here where we're at. But let's have it... Let's make this more interesting. Let's see. So what could I do to make this a little more interesting? Is there something thematic I could do? Do I just want to add some tape track kind of ambiance? Let's start with that at least. Let's take it out of the drums and make sure that it is on both that piano and the mandolin. And let's just make it some mixes at 99 for now, because this is just going to be an additional sort of texture layer, I guess. I don't remember what ratio. Oh, this is going to be like a fourth? I don't know. God, that's crap. Okay. Let's see. Let's go more interesting than this. Let's, here's what I'll do, I think. Let's just screw with how long everything is held for. No, let's do something similar. Let's go for 4, and then we want to do something. What was this one again? Actually, so wait, what chord are we on here? Just another. So this is B, and then we're going back to F sharp. Is there something we could do? Like, that'd be like an weird in between or something? No. Actually, that might be interesting, just kind of like that. Although, does that screw up the count? Does that matter? That might not matter. Let's add a new bass line here. Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe not bass yet. Maybe, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe an arpeggio would be good. Let's just do that. Let's just add. I'll use the bellissimo one. That's like my favorite-ish sort of preset. Well, one of mine. Here we go, and then let's turn the ARP on, and. Maybe it doesn't need to be holding it. Maybe I just need to... Oh yeah, I'll just make it so that the length is 100. Ta-da! What's going on here? Come on, friend. What have I done? Okay, this is not the answer. So let's just go ahead and stop torturing ourselves with that. Let's bring back the drums so I don't forget. So these are sounding not so great here. Let's just make that happen the first of every 2 times. let's take that booming kick. I'm going to keep that, but this snare hit I will replace with, let's do something really weird and electronic. Let's do like a clap. So it's just an extreme contrast there. That's my plan there, at least. Oops. Why did that change in pitch? What happened? Whatever. Oh. Yeah, let's just do that. I want to add something really weird here. I think I'll just go into the sampler, and from here I'll probably load just up some vinyl or something like that. But I'm going to try to like make it very strange and kind of unrecognizable, so it doesn't really matter what it is, really. Ooh. Oh, because it's got all this stuff applied to it. Okay, that could be interesting, actually. It's going to take a bit to find, like, the right pitch. Let's see if we've got any other modifiers on this that might be screwing with it a little bit. Oops. Nope. Especially because this is, I guess, too kind of clear of chords. So what I might do for now is let's take out everything but just the root notes for these chords. So we're just going to have, basically be octaves. And even though this is a C sharp chord, I'll just leave it as G sharp, or at least I played it as a C sharp chord with that in mind, but, you know, whatever. And this will be a fifth. Let's see how this sounds. Oh, you know, that removed all the step components, but that was still, I think, more interesting than what I had before. Oh, there's your problem. Let's hope this can get more interesting with time, right? Okay, cool. That's actually pretty interesting. Let's start there. Let's send the tape track to the effects as well. Not that much. My encoder's not in the best shape right now. Maybe you'll do that every second time? And what if we lower this an octave and make it so every second time it's an octave up? We're getting somewhere. And here's the thing, it's like, how long have I been streaming for? It feels like forever. 25 minutes, and now I'm just starting to get somewhere where I'm like, oh, here's like an initial idea. Oh god, what's on that? Let's take the drums out and see if it still sounds alright. And for this one, let's add in the bass. That rhythm no longer is working for me. So what if it starts with... that second one. What would be best is that second one. No, that's too different. Maybe I should take it up to that E. So maybe it could be... Let's see, what would be interesting here. Could I do that F sharp? Then I guess down to that E. I don't always take this technical or weird of like a approach. Okay, so let's make it so it lasts twice as long. And then the second one... Hi, GearTube. Or, I don't know your name, but hello. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, so maybe the first call and response could just be from that bass. Yeah, I've got an LFO on the lo-fi effect right now, which reminds me I need to send that to there, and then maybe we'll take out some of those higher frequencies. Maybe a lot of them. So then maybe, let's see if those drums are terrible now. Oh no, the broken Q Nexus would suck. Especially because they're supposed to be indestructible, I don't know. Like, not in the bad way, I just mean like, I also assume that means that they're not easy to fix, right? Okay, so we have like kind of this theme started. What is a real different weird direction we could take it? Let's just copy both of those and just make a new one of these. if I like that. Baseline mischief. Ooh, that would be a fun way to go, huh? Yeah, let's try and take this back to what it was before. And then let's try to get mischievous. Let's actually make a completely new one here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just change the wavetable sampler, turn off the LFO. Not the wavetable sampler, engine. And I've been really liking just turning the warp and drift way up on these. Okay, so let's throw the envelope, I don't know, onto position. And let's change it. Okay, so in this case, what I'm getting from that is that I ought to put this in legato mode. Oh, and let's, you know, because I've got this here, why don't I also attach this maybe to synth 2 a little bit? Let's see how that goes. Or maybe it doesn't work well if I'm already, let's see. Do you think that that's overwriting it? God, okay, I'm over that current pattern. Or what if we double the speed? Maybe we'll just take the same tone and maybe some of the same chords and just make it real weird. You know, let's just turn on the art. Why not? So this is getting kind of interesting. Although now that it's like just kind of a bizarre, weird track, it feels really pretentious to have named it that. I was just reading that a bit ago. I feel like that's always the issue with naming something before making it. Because I never like stay on theme, you know? Maybe some of y'all can, but I am completely unable to do that. Oh man, I could throw in some I think you should leave quotes. That's kind of tempting in a really weird way. What else do I have here? Nothing too exciting. Nothing is standing out to me, I mean. Oh, this seems... I'm feeling this. Let's make sure we're sending to the effects. Maybe this. And maybe make sure we've got a slight filter to cut out some of the highs. Oops. Well, I guess that makes no difference there. Oh, because I've got it sending to the, because I've got it sending to the, what you call it? Because I've got the arpeggiator on. That's it. And it's also sending to the tape, which I don't want.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, you know, fund mental health care, housing, fund education, health care for everyone.
That actually fits the vibe way better than I was expecting. Do I think the field can get this depth? In the right hands, yeah. In my hands, no. I'm not very good at the OP one. I've been tempted to start like... Legitimately, I've started sketching it out before. I would love to make like a clickbait series where I just make a bunch of videos like my least favorite teenage engineering product, and it's like about the OP1 field. Not because like it's a bad instrument, but I make stuff on it and then I don't know what to do with it. And also I feel like I have like no ability to sort of, like I have no way of directing my ideas the way that I can on the XY. And so often I do what I did just a bit ago where I'm like, oh, let me change this from chords to octaves. And I can't do that on the field. So I just find myself getting kind of like interrupted. But I know for other people, like being able to overdub and do a ton of stuff like that, like that's the whole point of it, right? So, I mean, I guess my answer is like the field can totally get this depth. But I just... yeah, I tend to, I like the control the XY gives me. I will say also the XY, one thing the XY has over the field is the saturator and this are doing a lot of the work in making things sound cool. Like if I turn off my gain for the percussion tracks and the melodic tracks, and I turn the compressor down and I turn the master down, I'll turn the volume up a bit on it to compensate. Almost a different song. Not really, but you know. But that's kind of the cool thing about both the XY and the Z is that the, like even just, I would say on the XY especially, the compressor can do a lot. And I asked one of the devs, like if it's like downward compression below that threshold and upward compression here, just because I learned about those in a video and I was watching the visuals and it looked like it. And he did say that it's mostly downward compression below here, or slightly more downward compression in lower values and slightly more upward, which just means that when you're past this threshold, this is the majority of the compression is literally just like making it so that the quietest part is loud. It's like the opposite of compression where it makes the loudest parts quieter so you can make things louder. It like raises the volume, which makes it so that you can just bring a lot more out of maybe quieter songs, which I think is cool. This song is sort of crap, but that is... The goal, though, was to take my time until I was able to make it into something I like, right? Oh, this is also sending to the, tape track. Oh, well, I hope you enjoy your field. I mean, I'm sure you'll have fun with it. It's an awesome instrument. It's really fun, but, like, yeah, in terms of the way my brain kind of works, yeah, this just makes sense on a different sort of level. Oh, right, so and actually, let's change that shape a bit, so it's just here. One really cool thing about the field, though, is it's really easy to, like, record something into a specific, like, panned part of a tape, and then, you know, record it elsewhere with different effects. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with it, and, like, resampling is just instantaneous on it, so, yeah, hope you all have fun. I don't know why I'm kind of in salesperson mode right now. That makes no real sense to me. Okay, let's see. So I've got... like maybe a half hour left. Can I turn this into something I like? Let me make a bunch of tweaks here. Starting... Oh yeah, the real-time looping on it that's pretty cool. Not one of my strong suits, for sure. What if we... Okay, so that is something I assume should stay. Let's give myself lots of room there. Let's just keep it to those two. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back to 1, reset it, and basically replace it with 3. And actually, let's just go through all of these and reset them. 3 is the new 1, as they all say. Oh, I screwed it up. Whatever. That's all right. We'll find the same patterns. crap, where did I put my Angela Davis? Oh, here we go.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund mental health, fund housing, fund health care for everyone.
So we'll mute that, and then on the second time, the bass will drop out. Maybe we will... Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll just kind of, yeah.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, housing, fund education, health care for everyone. Instead
I'm going to go ahead and just replace this first one and just let her talk. And we'll see how that goes. Not because I don't have faith in Angela Davis, but...
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund instead...
So we got, in my view, I've got two options here. Either increase the tempo, repitch her sample, or change the tempo. If I increase the tempo, I can make this be like, instead of just a 8-bar thing, this could be a 16-bar sample from her. So let's see.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund free health care for everyone. Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund...
Cool. And this actually really fits a project I'm working on with a collaborator. So it can be a bit slower than that then. Maybe 145. And what if we, for scene 2 at least, copy and paste that, and what if we just make it... Actually, let's go ahead and change this to being a kick. That seems like it fits kind of what I'm going for.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund free health care for everyone. Instead of giving the funding...
Let's see.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund...
Okay.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund free health care for everyone.
That's when you know you're doing it right, is when it starts to run out of processing power.
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund
Again, the
mental
name
health
continues
care,
to sound way, way more pretentious the more that time goes on. But again, I made it before the track just because I was reading the book. All right. What if this goes twice as fast?
Instead of
Or very fast? What if it goes here?
Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police,
Nope, too chaotic.
instead of giving the funding
And let's
to
just make
this
something here a
vile
little bit more.
institution called the police,
Why is this one so quiet? What have I done?
Care, fund housing, fund education, fund free health care for everyone. Instead of giving the funding to this vile institution, instead of giving the funding to this vile institution called the police, fund mental health care, fund housing, fund education, fund...
Cool. So what other quotes could we have there?
Call the police, mental health, fund...
I know I've got some other stuff around here. Although I might be pushing it with how many samples you can fit on here. Let's see if I got any other quotes here.
We've been
Oh, no, so that's... It fits, but it's not the same person.
So it...
Wild thinking that human beings are innately evil. Wild thinking.
Actually, I'll just copy this, paste it here, and then we will...
When people are evil, language that cuts us off from life, domination cultures, one of the things you have to educate people is to make violence enjoyable.
Let's see.
And we've done a good job of that. We make violence enjoyable in our culture. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable.
There we go. That's the one I was looking for.
Wild thinking.
Oh, shit.
We've been educated for quite a while to make violence. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence.
Now let's go back and see. I mean, let's just delete this one if it's blank. You're seeing how messy my workflow usually is.
We've been educated for quite a while to make violence.
Oh, let's make this.
We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated
Yeah. Well, I guess not high-pitched noise from the input. I guess I'll have to figure that a little bit more in terms of like whether it has a input gain issue in it. It seems to add a lot of gain to things, which sometimes results in a hiss, especially if you have like the saturator on. That's my experience. But I haven't had anything that's just like hasn't been fixed by turning the like input level down to 75, personally. Let's see if we can kind of wrap this up a bit.
We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable. We've been educated for quite a while to make violence enjoyable.
Cool. This was fun. I guess I kind of have to head off to work in like 5 to 10 minutes. But thanks for everybody who tuned in. This was a good time. I feel like I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go back through and completely re-edit all of it, but I feel like I got a lot sketched out that I like. Oh, here's what I was talking about before. This is all going to go away if I turn the saturator off. So there's that aspect of it, and then I think it's similar when you're talking about the input level. I think maybe 50 is better than 75. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for all of you who kept me company here, and hope you enjoyed this, and hope you have a great rest of your day.